Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another very important live video update tonight. Now, very quickly, just a heads up, I will be heading off for a couple of days after Tuesday night's radio show, so there'll be no live video this coming Thursday night, but I will be back again next Sunday night for another important video. That, of course, means we've got a heap of stuff to get through tonight, so let's get straight into it. Obviously, the big news of today is, of course, the fact that Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk has resigned. So if anyone's missed that article from earlier today, there's a short one. There's a couple of other updated ones out there now. But in essence, I have given it my all. Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk resigns. Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk has announced she's resigning from the role after more than 8 years and in an emotional media conference. I've given it my all and I've run a marathon, Palaszczuk told media this morning after confirming that Cyclone Jasper is expected to cross the state on Wednesday. Cyclone Jasper is the 63rd natural disaster I've led the state through as Premier. Queensland is in good shape, she said between tears. Really? Compared to what exactly? Maybe Victoria, but otherwise, not so sure. It's time for me to go and do something else. Well, there's some true words for you. The next Queensland state election is due to be held next year. So at the end of the day, watch this space. Let's see who comes in to replace her. But very interesting, isn't it? Another one bites the dust. First, obviously, it was New South Wales Premier Berejiklian. Then, of course, there was good old McLeod in WA, and then thank God, Dictator Dan finally left earlier this year, and now Palaszczuk in Queensland. So I find it all very interesting, and again, this is just my personal opinion that. To me, at least, they've all played their role, during COVID. They towed the party line, and all of a sudden, magically, within a year or two of the pandemic, playing out, they're all quitting and they're off to other positions. Now, of course, I'm not in any way suggesting anything untoward has happened. I do just find it all very coincidental, and of course, I'll leave that up to you guys to make of those coincidences whatever you choose. But again, it's clear to me, at least, that this all has something to do with how they handled the whole COVID pandemic, in their states, at least to some degree. Now, speaking of COVID, have you heard the latest insanity? Now, this one is sure to make you shake your heads in absolute disbelief. So, are you ready? Hold on. This one is a doozy. Okay. As part of their latest insane attempt to convince more people to get jabbed, it turns out that a company called Verify is now apparently suggesting that an online COVID test is possible, and they're actually using AI, artificial intelligence, to analyze your cough to tell you whether you might have COVID or not. I know. You can't make this stuff up. I promise you. There it is. If you want to go and look it up, this is just directly printed off their actual website. So as you can see there, an online COVID-19 test is possible. Okay, and it says here, Verify is a non-profit research organisation developing artificial intelligence technology to screen for COVID-19 from cough patterns rapidly and at no cost through the use of a smartphone. And there's a link there that you can learn more about this wonderful new technology. Of course, you can share your cough and you can upload your cough, and this wonderful Verify program will come back and tell you whether you're likely to have COVID-19 or not. I mean, what will they think of next? I mean, how desperate do they have to be to keep people running around in circles on this ridiculous COVID train? I mean, I do. I just shake my head, really. Now, of course, this is all very, very clearly part of this agenda to try and convince more people to go and get jabbed. Now, please, very, very important, if you missed this week's radio show, I would urge you to please go out and at least have a look at the article and the court case that we covered on that show, which details the fact that Texas, the state of Texas in the USA, is actually suing Pfizer for misrepresenting COVID-19 vaccine efficacy rates. So that's the actual article there. So you can go and look that up. Obviously, I'm not going to go through it on this video. We did go through it in detail on Tuesday night show. Obviously, yeah, I'm very limited to what I can say about these sorts of articles and these sort of cases, because the good old, fact checkers and their, absolute desperate desire to try and, censor us or discredit us in some way. But again, if you do want to know the full details, along with, of course, our commentary on that case, please do make sure you listen to this week's podcast. Now, speaking of trying to censor things and discredit things, particularly groups like ours, you'll no doubt remember the last video update that I did, where I ripped to shreds the complete rubbish that was being reported on news.com.au about the Aussie speeding fines website and their book. Now, for those of you who don't recall the actual article, this is the title of it. And if you missed that article, or you missed the video that I did, ripping this article to shreds, please make sure you go and watch that video, because we've had some really, really great feedback on it. But here's the problem. So it's entitled "Disturbing Tactics Used by Members of Sovereign Citizen Cult." Okay, so that's the headline that the lady Brooke, who was the author of that piece of garbage, chose to go with. Now, it turns out that either she really doesn't understand English or the law, or probably both, and she can't even agree with her fellow authors at news.com.au, because the title just doesn't make any sense. Now, I obviously explained on that last video, why the term sovereign citizen is an absolute oxymoron. It cannot possibly exist in law. So I'm not going to go through that side of things again. But again, Brooke clearly doesn't know what a cult is either. So if we have a look at the definition of cult, and you can, you're welcome to just, go onto Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever your preferred search engine, and just type it in, definition of cult. Okay, and you'll get something along the lines of this. Now, this one's taken from the Oxford dictionaries, and it says cult. It's a noun. Plural is obviously cults. Two meanings. Number one is a system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. And they give an example here: the cult of St. Olaf, a relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or imposing excessive control over members. And then the second possible definition is a person or thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society. Again, their example is, the series has become a bit of a cult in the UK. So obviously, that second one doesn't apply at all. And really, other than, perhaps referring to the Bible as the ultimate law book, which of course it is, I'm really not sure how anyone can claim that there's anything religious about the Aussie Speeding Fines website or their book or their team in any way. And given that it's actually run by a group of people, there is no actual leader as such, that definition clearly doesn't fit. And again, it does seem like other reporters at news.com.au who have at least half a brain understand that pretty clearly, and that can be seen from a story that they recently released. Now, of course, this has got nothing to do with anything other than this, clear definition and explanation of cult. So if you want to look this up, you're welcome to. It's a somewhat interesting article, I guess. But the title of it is "Rules of the Australian Cult Anglican Catholic Mission Community. A new investigation has revealed the shocking details of daily life in a cult that has communes across Australia, including rules they live by. The Anglican Catholic Mission Community religious cult," so there's obviously the religious tie-in that's in the definition, formerly known as the Jesus people of North Queensland, again clearly having a religious connection, also has a huge compound in North Queensland, as well as communes in Parks and Sydney and New South Wales, as well as overseas. The rules are as stipulated in a number of documents called the Customary, the Proposed Rule of Life, and the Golden Thread, all written by the group's founder, the late Daniel Landy Ariel. Again, a single figurehead or a single leader of this religious cult, which clearly does not apply in any way, shape or form to the Aussie Speeding Fines guys, to their website or anything like that. So I'm really not sure what Brooke was trying to get at with that article, other than, quite obviously just trying to sensationalize the title of her story just to get somebody to read it. Because again, the title itself makes as little sense as the rest of the story. And of course, if Brooke, wants to try and claim that, she didn't, come up with the term cult, that was that other Muppet, heel turn that she's reported on, then of course she shouldn't have used it in the title to her article, which she personally chose to do. So hopefully someone out there will manage to share this video, of course, along with the last video where I ripped that article to shreds, either directly with her or even better, with her boss, so she can be given an opportunity to first and foremost rectify that false and misleading title on her article, as well as obviously, addressing the absolute garbage in the body of the article itself. And I guess we can all at least live in some hope that that may happen. Now, speaking of that article and some of my responses to it that I did on that last video, I showed everybody a detailed copy of the actual outlines of submissions that I filed recently with the Noosa Magistrates Court before, of course, the Noosa Council decided to tender no evidence and the whole thing was dismissed. Well, some other Muppets come along on Messenger or whatever, some keyboard warrior, claiming that, no, they withdrew, the Noosa Council withdrew their case because they didn't actually have a case to begin with, it had nothing to do with the submissions. Well, once again, I like to address these completely baseless claims with clear, concise, factual evidence. So I'm going to show you the index. This is just the index of the evidence that the Noosa Council had in their case against me. And as you can see, it goes down to page 23. 23 pages of documentation that they had as evidence against me for this parking fine, and that included copies of, and I haven't got all 23 pages obviously, but included copies of the fine and included photographs of the car, and again, 23 pages of evidence. Okay, so for this, other Muppet to claim, that's the reason they said there was no evidence because they didn't actually have any. Well, again, there you can see crystal clear, black and white. You can't make this stuff up. That's the evidence that they had. Obviously, I've explained the submissions, and once again, there is the actual court record saying that they tendered no evidence and the charge is dismissed. So again, please don't buy into all of these, keyboard warriors and all these trolls out there. This information works, okay, just as we say it does. So please don't wait until you get a fine, okay? Go out and grab that Aussie Speeding Fines book now before you get a fine. Again, you'll find a link in the description or in the comments or somewhere there. Again, all the revenue raising goons are going to be out in force in the coming weeks, over the Christmas period, trying to gather up as much money as they can, for the various state governments. So, before the inevitable happens, grab that book so that you're, informed and armed with all of the information that you need so that you can address those fines, as soon as they happen, or of course, hopefully avoid being issued one in the first place. Now, of course, speaking of a Christmas, if you are looking for a special gift for a friend or a loved one, something with a little bit of a difference, something that's actually going to make a real impact on their lives, and something that's actually going to be used and enjoyed and appreciated for many years to come, I would urge you to please have a look at the products page or the shop page on our Know Your Rights group website. Again, there should be a link coming up in the comments, and just have a look through some of the different products that we have that really would make a perfect gift for someone who is is genuinely interested in learning about their rights. Now, the other thing to please make sure you keep in mind, okay, that a lot of the information that I went through in that outline of submissions, and again, there's 8 pages of submissions there, and again, I'm not going to go through them all now. I went through them all in that last video, but we talked about specific pages from the Quick and Garran annotated constitution. A lot of the references I've taken out of the Halsbury's Laws of England CDs. Okay, very, very powerful discs. Other stuff that I've garnered from actual Freedom of Information, FOI responses that we've received from a bunch of different departments. So you can find all of these discs on those shop and product pages if you want to get some of the background information that I use to actually draft and create those submissions. All right, so the last article that I want to go through tonight is in relation to the Westpac outage that occurred at the start of this week, and that is the article there, and once again, more problems. So this one's entitled, Westpac hit by outage after routine technology update. Westpac has apologised for taking too long to fix a major tech outage that left thousands of customers unable to use digital banking from Monday night to Tuesday morning. Some customers posted that they were stressed or freaking out when they could not access their accounts, saw zero balances, or had their cards erased. And it was only out for one night. Imagine what happened when the whole system goes down for a week, or God forbid, even longer. Shoppers were left red-faced as they were forced to abandon their purchases at the till or were unable to pay their bills. The problem affected mobile and online banking services and seemed to have occurred after a routine technology upgrade, Westpac confirmed. The bank released an update 5 a.m. Tuesday saying its digital services were restored and running as usual. We want to apologise to all our customers who were impacted by the issue overnight, they said on a statement on X. We recognise this took too long to resolve and we thank customers for their patience. According to outage website Down Detector, more than 10,000 people reported problems accessing their accounts on Monday. The bank released its first statement about 9 p.m. Monday, acknowledging its customers were experiencing issues accessing their accounts. So again, this should be a major, major concern for everybody out there. Okay, how many more major banks, major telcos, and major corporations need to, go down or have outages or, get hacked before people understand once and for all that digital IDs, CBDCs, and a cashless society are not a good idea, and they are riddled with all kinds of problems, from very minor right through to very major. Okay, this is just another one in a long, long, long list of outages, problems, hacks, cyber security issues that we've spoken about just this year alone, let alone in the last, 3 to 5 years before that. Now, I spoke obviously on a recent video update about the introduction of the digital ID bill that was introduced into Parliament last week. So again, I would urge everyone, please make sure you write to your Member of Parliament and express your will as loudly and as clearly and concisely as you possibly can in your own words. Don't look to us to draft something for you. It needs to be in your own words, and tell them that you do not consent, okay, to this digital ID bill being passed, into legislation in its current format, and you require that Member of Parliament that you write to, okay, acts as your representative and represents your will on the floor of Parliament when that bill is being debated. Okay, again, I'd also urge you to please, help stop any legislation regarding digital IDs from being passed by adding your signature to the Stop Digital ID petition. Again, there should be a link going up in the comments of this video. We've covered that on a recent radio show as well. Now, all of this, of course, is another very timely reminder that one of the simplest ways that you can avoid many of these things being brought in is, of course, to keep using cash at every single opportunity, and of course encourage others to do the same. So once again on that point, I know I've said it many times before, but please, if you have not yet done so, make sure you join our Call Out Cashless Businesses Facebook group. And again, let's name and shame those businesses that are clearly unaware of this cashless agenda, or worse still, they're supporting it. Again, let's make sure that we encourage people to use cash, and don't forget the sister group to that, which is the Cash is King discussion group. And again, there should be links going up in the comments. And again, let's get these messages shared around far and wide, these videos, these articles, why we need to keep cash alive, why cash is king, why we don't want digital IDs, and all of the rest of it. And of course, on that same point, I would also urge everyone, please, if you haven't already done so, to add your signature to Jason's petition to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country. And again, you should find a link in the comments section of this video. All right, so finally, as we always do at the end of these videos, I want to go through the latest testimonial that we've got from one of our members, and of course some really great memes to get people thinking. So this one, again, can be fully verified. It's been posted onto Facebook. You can see that there. It's just been printed straight off. This gentleman says, after approximately 15 months, a judge yesterday in Brisbane City has dismissed my case for the original $110 parking fine. In his words to the council prosecution, "You are wrong. Mr. Nugent, case dismissed. You are free to go. Thank you, Your Honour." So again, very, very concise, very clear, very straightforward, very simple proof once again that three-step process in Chapter 3 of that Aussie Speeding Fines book, okay, most assuredly does work. Okay, there's some more evidence for everybody. All right, so let's look at some memes. Now, this one hasn't printed out overly clearly, but I will, of course, read it out for you. But you can see there the blindfold, and it says, "Would you blindfold yourself and eat whatever someone fed you?" No, of course not. Then stop letting the media do it to you. So many people just blindly buy into this media rubbish. Stop just swallowing it whole, okay, and actually take the time to read it, dissect it, do the research, and pull it apart and see what the agenda is that they're ultimately getting at. Yes, well, given everything that we have spoken about this year as we close in on the final few weeks of the year, I can certainly relate to this, and I'm sure many of you who are watching this video can also relate as well. As it says, looking for new conspiracy theories because most of mine are now just facts. And that has certainly played out again this year. Yes, another one that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, and this follows on from this, insanity about pushing jabs on people and doctors, peddling drugs for the drug companies, because this is really what it's all about. So as it says there, should I eat more vegetables? Oh, no, let's not jump to any conclusions. Here's some pills. Okay, because of course that seems to be their answer to everything, because of course that's where the money is. All right, and I want to leave you with this one because this one is very, very important. And so many people, watch all of these shows on TV and they buy into the whole storyline of the shows. But when it actually plays out in reality in the real world, all of a sudden they take a very different stance. So please keep this in mind. You watched the Hunger Games and sided with the resistance. You watched Divergent and sided with the resistance. You read about history and sided with the resistance. When it's fiction, you understand oppression. Why do you refuse to see it when it's reality? Okay? Because we have seen this very, very clearly, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. So please keep it in mind as they continue to push these agendas and play this out and roll this out as this year comes to an end and next year begins. So I'm going to leave things there for tonight. As always, I do urge you to please make use of all of the various resources that are available to you to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We really do need this now more than ever before. As always, these videos are completely free to watch. You can find them on the videos tab on our Facebook page. You can also find them on our BitChute channel. There's plenty of completely free information on our website and the other websites that we recommend. Our radio shows, again, completely free to listen to every Tuesday night between 8 and 10 p.m. Just click on the radio show tab on our Know Your Rights website. And again, you should find a link in the comments section. I know some people have had some challenges over the last few weeks. Those have hopefully all been rectified. You'll find a bunch of new links. So if you're finding things like TuneIn and some of the old systems that you use to listen don't work, please make sure you try the new links that you'll find on the top of that radio show page to listen into our shows. And of course, remember they are 2 hours long, so we can go into a lot more detail. They're completely uncensored, so we can speak about a lot of things that we can't cover on these videos. So please make sure you tune in for those live radio shows. And of course, if you want to go above and beyond that, we do of course recommend our Know Your Rights book, the essential step-by-step manual for understanding and exercising your rights. Again, these things make an absolute perfect gift for somebody for Christmas who you really want to wake up to some of the truth and just show them some of the things that they didn't even know that they didn't know. It is a very eye-opening book, of course. That Aussie Speeding Fines book, which I've mentioned many, many times. These guys have been around for 16 years now, helping people defeat all manner of unjust and unlawful fines. And of course, we do know, as we do head into this Christmas period, a lot of people are struggling financially. So please stop throwing good money after bad at these unsecured loans, your credit cards, your personal loans, things like that. Grab that Bank Secrets Revealed book, follow their tried, tested, and proven 4-step process, and give yourself a brighter outlook on next year. Of course, you can get these individually. Again, there's links in the comments, links in the description. You can get them all together as part of the combo pack. Save a few dollars by getting them together. You do also get that bonus tote bag included at no extra charge. Don't forget, we do have our caps and beanies. It's probably getting a little bit warm for beanies now, but the caps are a great idea, especially you order those now. You'll have them in time for Christmas. You'll have them in time for summer, so make sure you grab those. I mentioned also before some of those very, very powerful discs that we have, that Quick and Garran annotated constitution, which has also got the George S. Knowles annotation as well. Those Halsbury's Laws of England, absolutely incredible content there. Darren Dixon's spoken on some of our recent radio shows about some of the gems that he's found in there, and have a look at that. And of course that FOI CD, which is evidence from the actual government themselves of the very points that we raise. Again, a very, very powerful disc. And finally, of course, if you really want to get serious about learning about your rights, please do make sure you grab a copy of our home study course. It is a complete recording of one of our 2.5-day live events. There's 17 DVDs, a CD with all the documents that we use ourselves. There's 3 custom-made workbooks. There's sections there. You can write notes next to every single slide from every single presentation. You can pause, rewind, fast forward in the comfort of your own home at your own pace. Obviously, most of you will be having some sort of time off over the coming Christmas, New Year period. It is a great time to sit down and watch some of those DVDs and just realise some of the information that you may not have been aware of to help you stand up for your rights. So I'm going to leave things there. I'll look forward to speaking to everybody on a Tuesday night on our radio show. Again, no live video on Thursday, but I will be back next Sunday. Until then, have a fantastic week, everyone.